Mga kaibigan, welcome to In My Toolbox. Of course, this is your weekly talk show for your personal finance, only here at PHLV Radio. The goal of this show, mga kaibigan, is to give you financial information that you may be able to use on your day-to-day financial decisions. Of course, we will unbox topics that hopefully will be able to guide you and aid you and maybe even add to your financial tools. Mga kaibigan, we will tackle important information mostly not taught in school, but of course, this is so much needed to empower you financially. Mga kaibigan, as usual, in any idea that will transpire in the show, always consult with your financial advisors, insurance professionals, tax consultants, etc., etc., etc. Again, my name is Enrico Pobre. You're listening to In My Toolbox. This is another episode na naman po on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. If you want to get in touch with me, of course, you can always get in touch with me through PHLV, or you can just Google my name, Enrico Pobre. You will not miss me, guys. Otherwise, you can email me at enrico.inmytoolbox@gmail.com. Ayan naman, mga kaibigan. You know what, guys? This show has been going on for over a year. Almost 2 years now. Wow. Yay. You know, medyo matagal na tayo, no? It's actually good. In fact, I was just talking to Johan a while ago. You know what we do every week for this kind of a show, it's part of us already, you know. So whenever you go vacation, you know, you look forward to coming back and just do this show. Speaking about vacation, yes, you guessed it right. I went to a vacation for 3 weeks in the Philippines, and I'm telling you, it's a blast. Oh my God, you know, it really was. And it gave me a lot of ideas on how to push this show to the next level. By the way, with the blessing of PHLV, you know, CEO Johan, we will be adding more issues or topics in My Toolbox episodes, you know. So basically, In My Toolbox now is going to be talking about business and finance. Yeah. All right. So this is a new level up po, mga kaibigan. So definitely in the next coming shows, you know, you will be expecting to talk about, of course, finance, and we're still going to be talking about business and opportunities as well. We will be putting some guests in front of you guys. So we all going to be learning together about the secrets of, you know, how to build a business, and of course, in the financial side as well. Talking about the financial side, going back to the financial side, the topic today is the art market is booming. Yan naman, hindi ka-artehan, you know. the art market is actually booming. When you say art market, yes, you're actually, you know, thinking it right. It's actually arts. That's actually a good way of investment. What? Oh, mga kaibigan, you know, because just to make sure that you understand why, because arts is what you call a non-duplicatable assets. Yan, I'll give you more information about it later on, you know. And of course, a lot of big companies that you and I already know are actually investing in arts because it's a non-duplicatable assets. That's the key. Can you imagine the companies like Microsoft, you know, Google, they're investing to these non-duplicatable assets. Tayo naman, of course, when we talk about arts, oh my God, you know, when you look at those things, my God, it's actually going to be expensive. You know, I went to Belgium, you know, a few years ago. I went to Brussels, and in Brussels, you would see a lot of antique shops and art shops. Sabi ko, bakit na lang, you know, everywhere that I look into, there's art shops and there's actually antique shops. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, because we have an answer to that, you know. So that's the reason why it actually gave me an interest to talk to you guys about about this arts. So it's actually booming now. If you want to research more about it, you know, I would rather, you know, let you look at it, because they say that since art is actually booming, the time to invest is today with arts, you know. Well, art, mga kaibigan, is actually a global commodity. You know, it can be bought, it can be sold, you know, between collectors anywhere in the world, and it's actually, because it's anywhere in the world, of course, it's making the art business now truly a worldwide market. Well, of course, art is a long-term investment, but this one has a worldwide trend, but this is actually increasing wealth. Alongside, of course, guys, when you buy art or invest in art, there's actually growth in the knowledge around art. And of course, a much larger community. Of course, if you're not used to buying all of this art, you would say, oh, pang mayaman lang yan. And that's the reason why I want to talk to you guys about this one. And because community has already been started to get interest in collecting and investing in the art market. An investment in art provides an existing investment portfolio with further balance and of course an exposure to new growth markets. Kung naghahanap po tayo ng alternative asset investments, you might want to look for this art investment. So, the investment grade in art market has outperformed, mga kaibigan, I'm going to tell you, has actually outperformed all comparable assets over the last decade. For the last decade, this has been actually going on that you and I don't actually even know. In fact, since 1950, the art market, take note of this one, has average returns between 4.20% to 11.3% per annum since 1950. Now, I'm going to tell you, why didn't we know that? Bakit hindi natin siya alam? And then when we put our market sleeping out there with 0.0001, I don't know. But this art market, according to research, guys, it's been actually, since 1950, it's been giving 4.20% to 11.3% per annum. Where were we? So that's the reason why, guys, I would want to discuss with you about arts. So I'm going to tell you right now, fine arts can actually be a fine investment. Okay? So, when you look at arts, it actually is continuously booming year in, year out. And it seems that every day, another auction record is set to the highest price ever paid. Can you imagine? That's what's happening globally. And we want to be part of it as well, So, what does it mean for a painting that's an art that you bought to match your sofa, Of course, I remember when I bought this new sofa, I wanted, of course, to match with a very good painting at the back of it, right? So, what does this mean for that painting that you put at the back of your sofa to match with your sofa? So it means that painting that you put into your living room or wherever it is, it will actually may increase the worth. Or, of course, it's going to be like as saleable as your kid's pasta field craft project. Ganon yung dating noon, mga kaibigan. So, now, how do you tell if your painting or your art is actually a good investment? You have, of course, just like any other investments, mga kaibigan, you have to do your research. You have to go beyond your comfort zone in understanding the art market. Well, of course, because, number one, if you're not really into the art market, of course, that's something that you don't know, you don't want to be involved with, right? Number two, the art market is also fickle. And because it's fickle, there's no guarantee in the profitability. But, of course, with a little legwork, just like any other investment, mga kaibigan, you can actually fill your home with images all over, your living room or where have you, in your bathroom, that this will actually prove worthy assets next, down the line. So, let me just tell you guys some other items that, you might, get some knowledge about the art, So, it says here, guys, mga high-end copies of original artwork. I don't know if you know, sometimes because let's just say you have a $5,000 artwork that you would want to buy. Oh my God, I cannot afford that $5,000 worth of a painting. Well, some museums are actually they create high-end copies of the original artwork, and this is high end, mga kaibigan. Of course, you call this the jiklis, and the rarity of a work of art is what what the value is. Well, as many mga expert, jiklis are gimmicks, sabi nila. But then again, some people cannot really afford, the real art anyway. That's why they go to a jikli. Another thing, there are what you call prints and posters, which are, we can generally see the difference between the original and then the original, that the piece, with just looking at it, you'd know that it's not real. There's another, prints and posters. Some people just go that way because, of course, they cannot afford it. Nonetheless, mga kaibigan, many people who buy paintings don't end up selling them later on. They just keep it, and then the fact that pricing will actually increase in the future. So your best shot at the decent payout of a fine art auction house will actually typically you get about 5% to 25% of your sale price for auctioning whatever your art piece is. Where meron din naman kasi there is actually what you call do it yourself sites. They tend to price lesser. Anyway, just to give you idea of what art is. Art is actually a long-term investment. Well, if you cannot afford it, there are other companies out there that you would want to research that you can actually have fractional ownership of the art. There you go. That's where you come in. Oh, Enrico, I cannot afford that $5,000. Well, you can actually have a fractional ownership too. Well, a good example of fractional ownership, I went back to the Philippines, right? So the real estate, condominiums, etc., is just a booming industry in the Philippines. So you don't buy the whole building, you just buy one unit. You call it a fractional ownership of the building. And the same thing as the art. So if you cannot afford paintings, there are companies out there that you can actually, invest into fractional ownership. Diba? Iba naman yon. But then again, of course, art is a long-term investment. So sometimes, of course, because art can be, it can be stable then, and it can actually show us large returns on our investment when, of course, the booming time comes, right? So it is one asset that can easily grow or plummet, in value during the seasons of recession. So this is actually telling us that it can be a recession-proof investment as well. So, just imagine this. You walk into the gallery. Now, you fall in love with a very beautiful painting. And the painting is about $5,000 painting. Of course, what if you don't have that $5,000, right? So you cannot, well, of course, you cannot just justify the price tag. So the gallery owner now approaches you, and then she said, hey, I have some selection of the same artist's work for $500. And then this guy will tell you, hey, that piece is what you call a jiklis. Well, again, I explained to you guys about what a jikli is, right? So a jikli basically is a high-end quality of a printout, or they reproduce this printed on a very fine paper or a canvas with color, and of course the clarity, you will see it, but of course it's not too close to the original, but it's good, but still it's a copy. Now, the rarity of a work of art is what gives the value. So the original will always be worth more than the reproduction. It just makes sense, right? So this is not just like a car, one that you produce and then you copy it. It's all the same price. This one is so different. That's the reason why I started this conversation, guys. This art investment is a non-duplicatable asset because the original is just the original. Of course, when you consider jiklis, they reproduce a copy of this kind of art. But again, it's not close to the original. So of course, the seller may hawk a certificate of authenticity, and then it will never be as valuable as original. It just makes sense, right? So some artists and appraisers even view this what you call jiklis as a gimmick for novice artists. And of course, this novice artist matches a neophyte collector. So just like anything else, mga kaibigan. Ako nga, I actually play golf. I don't have a very expensive golf set. I only have, just a mediocre golf set. And because this is what I tell myself, I'm gonna buy the most expensive ones maybe in the future if I actually become good in in playing golf. That's just my mindset. And some people are also like that with regard to looking at art. Doing the loop, this is what you call the prints and posters. In the 19th century, according to research, Currier and Ives bought art into homes of America with their mass-produced printout. Maraming ganon. Even you may be listening to this episode right now, you may have an art that was reproduced already. Because during the first half of the 20th century, a quarter of the U.S. household were decorated with prints by some, a lot of artists, especially Maxfield Parrish. So the images of these posters are sold in all the malls in the whole America and the museums today. Posters like, of course, the jiklis, give access to, of course, the masterpiece. But it's a poster, not the same as a fine art print, which can be in the form of a hand-pulled silkscreen, lithograph, or black print. Mga kaibigan, the reason why I'm talking to you guys about all of this, art, because selling your art investment is where it actually starts, right? Of course, it starts by buying it and then selling it. Art sales was witnessed that it had a significant decline due to everybody naman COVID-19, right? So there was a huge decline there. Every business had a huge decline. And then the U.S. art market has recovered strongly, in sales back in 2022. Just like everybody else too. Everybody started growing back to where they were pre-pandemic, So now, and then again, it's now growing faster than ever, and the highest level to date, representing an 8% increase in 2021, and then it's actually increased to $67.8 billion. That's a 3% increase from 2021 to 2022. So the total sales auction, were estimated to have reached about $30.6 billion in 2022. That was about 11% up since pre-pandemic. Wow. See, that's where you look at it on investing in arts. Gallery owners will tell you that buying art, well, there's an emotional component to it. Of course, in every investment, especially if it's hard-earned money, but more so in arts. So research any living artist today, that will catch your eye, and look at their product, look at what they do, and look at, of course, the value of their product. Learn about the basics of that artist education, and then where they put their exhibits, etc. So that's how to learn art, and then that's how to actually learn investing in art. Well, if you're not so used in art investment, or not even know anything about art, but you have the interest now because you're listening to this show, you might want to visit museums, or maybe you would want to visit galleries, or if there are like art exhibits or institution in your area that regularly exhibits art, and then, usually this where the movers and the shakers in your community goes to, definitely, there is some kind of an attachment to an art exhibit. So if you're considering a piece of maybe somebody that a renowned artist, And then, well, if you're looking at somebody, the first thing that you need to do, oh, I mean, if you eye already an art, the first thing that you need to do is to get that art appraised. Now, look for quality, and please do not buy anything that is actually in bad condition. Of course, just put a little effort, and then maybe you would want to just go out there and associate with yourself with people who already knows art. I would be doing the same thing. Honestly, guys, I do not know anything about art, but if I would want to immerse myself in collecting art or investing in art, definitely I would want to befriend people who already know something about it. So investing in art is actually a fine investment. It can be I can consider this is a good option because this is a non-duplicatable asset where even these big companies actually are investing to at the moment. So an investor can never be sure of what the future value of the art that they're going to be buying, but history tells us, just like any other else too in an investment, you would want to see historical data. You would want to attach your investment into a historical data, and it can be valuable when the time comes. So art that is rare is more valuable, and particularly if it is an original piece opposed to a reproduction of an original piece. Art and the artist, well, they come in and out. So timing is actually going to be a great factor in investing in art. Furthermore, mga kaibigan, when you purchase art, it actually comes, at additional cost. Because once you purchase one, the second thing that you would want to ask is where you're going to be putting it, right? Of course, because it's a huge investment, you just don't want to put it, to pair it up with your sofa set, right? But, it's still okay. That depends on the condition of your house, environment. And of course, you would want to have insurance and commissions as well. So how do you invest in fine arts? Well, the most simple way of investing in fine art, mga kaibigan, is at an auction. You have to make sure that you go to an auction. And that's also the place that you will be learning more about investing in art. And you would see, the psychographic inside that auction houses. And who are this buying? How do they buy? What do they consider? And of course, you would want to visit art fairs. That's how to learn as well in learning and how to invest into arts, and invest in shares of art through various online platforms. This is exactly what I was talking to you guys about. There are online platforms out there. You might want to Google it, right? And you can actually learn from these online platforms, what, how, what, why you would want to invest into arts. And then you can actually play around with small amount of money because you can actually buy arts fractional ownership. What's so good about fractional ownership? You may have 4 arts right there, and you can put, different amount of money in 4 arts. That is actually how you would want to, to immerse yourself into investing into art. Again, guys, the art market is booming. That's just the bottom line here. And you would want to learn how to invest to arts. So if you have the money, investing in art can not only add beautiful aesthetics to your home, well, if you want to buy a whole art just for yourself, right? Or, a fractional ownership again. But it can also be a good investment only if it is done right. Again, just like anything else, you will want to know and learn how it actually works. You give your due diligence there. Now, focusing on original pieces and items that are rare, this can actually boost up the value of the art. We know that. That's the basic of how to invest in arts. And the other thing too is you want to make sure you don't sell in times of recession, because it can ensure you're getting the most of your investment. Okay, so that's just the bottom line of investing in arts. And then investors earned a 325% annualized return in arts. This is about 15.4% net return after 36 days through a sculpture offered by a fractional art investment. So you might want to look at fractional art investment online so you would know. And then, you learn, there's going to be a lot of ways on how to learn online right now, especially today with the technology. Can you imagine a triple digit return on an annualized basis? Oh my God, that's unheard of, right? So you would want to learn more about this art investment. So, it's actually not common for companies, to exit so fast. So investors have recently secured 14%, 27%, and even 35% annualized return from other offerings. There are companies out there that matches this value that I just shared with you guys. Mga kaibigan, it's actually maybe, you're looking for other alternative investments out there, and then you maybe would like to have a way of, wanting to learn other ways of investment. You might want to look at art, because art is a valuable assets in many ways. Whether it's a medium painting or prints or even illustration. Not only does art look so beautiful, or it looks so great, in art, it actually tells you a story, and when it tells you a story in art, because you know the story, right? It actually gives you a good mood, and also, of course, lastly, because, it's all investment, of course, it's going to be worth a lot of money for you. So, when you invest in art, you are directly impacting the lives of the artists around the world. That's the other thing. More and more people now are going to be making the decision to invest in arts. That's just how it is. It's a ripple effect. And there are countless benefits to art investment, and one of which, it can actually give you or generate you a solid profit. So guys, art is actually a good investment. You might want to research about it. And more importantly, you need to know why, of course, you would want to invest in art. Well, for me, I'll tell you, I love art. Even though I don't know anything about it, I'll invest in art, right? Again, because of the research, it's a stable investment. Why not? If there's a key reason for investing your money, you would want to put in an investment that is actually stable. And art is actually stable. Since 1950, it's just giving a good return of your investment. This has proven over time that it actually withstood the times of economic uncertainty, and art displayed resilience over time and time and time again. So another thing, the reason why I would want to invest in art, because research says it actually outperforms stocks. So where's your money today, guys, right? So if you have something that actually outperforms your money today, if your money's in stocks, wouldn't you, right? So it's actually it has a continuous market growth. That's the reason why I would want to put it into investing my money into an art. But again, due diligence, mga kaibigan, you have to do what you have to do, right? So, and of course, art is tangible. It's actually a tangible investment. It's something that you can touch. It's something that you can enjoy. It can actually something that you can resonate with, because it's art, right? And there's actually a form of a connection with the property or the asset that you actually bought, as opposed to other forms of investment like, stocks and, and bonds, those are not tangible assets. And of course, when I was younger, my parents, we always go around, and one of the places that we go to are museums, and I love it. And the reason why I would want to invest in art now, because, there's a gallery that you can actually put your art into. We understand that the art market can be very difficult to navigate, but these galleries can actually help you navigate, the piece of art that you actually have. Guys, there's a lot of reasons now that I've given you why you would want to invest in art. But again, at the end of the day, it's going to be you. So you have to find your reasons why you would want to invest into art, and if you really would want to, if you would really would want to embrace the what do you call this, the value of investing in art. So mga kaibigan, I hope you guys got a good what do you call it, eyesight or hindsight with regard to investing in art. Again mga kaibigan, this is Enrico Pobre again. Up to our next episode mga kaibigan. Don't forget, right? This is going to be in my toolbox. We're going to be talking about business and finance in our next episode. Hanggang sa susunod, this is Enrico Pobre signing off.